Hello, folks. So, in this video, I'm going to talk a lot of random things, but the relation between these things would be some of these keywords: relationships, romantic relationships, men, male gender, men, boys, guys, any masculinity, right? And yeah, so you can call it as cis male. I don't know. There are a lot of genders. So I'm just talking about the popular male gender, which is considered to be masculine or whatever. And woman, and yeah, a lot about. Mostly it's like a binary thing, men and women, though there are other genders. And so male, female, there are other genders and a lot of different sexualities, and then like different sexual identities and sexualities. But I am just looking at the heterosexuality because I just know that. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about the other people in the sexual spectrum with different sexual orientations and all. I know a bit about homosexuals, maybe a bit, with among men, so gays among men, but that's it, very little, probably 0.000000001%. Anyways, let's get started. So I've been wanting to talk about this for a lot of time. I think I've spoken a bit or probably a lot before. Just a moment. So I think I've spoken a bit about it or probably a lot about it before. I might be repeating myself in that case, for which I'm sorry. I think I do this a lot sometimes, do this a lot sometimes, maybe a lot of times. Anyways, where I just repeat the content I make, assuming or thinking or not realizing that I've done the content on this before. Like example, recently I posted on LinkedIn about how people are just using AI, not learning from AI. I realized later that I had actually already posted about it. And the same people who commented on the previous post also commented on this post. And then I felt stupid. Anyways, I think my ideas just revolve around some similar things. And my thoughts and all. My mental space is probably occupied with some similar things. Usually health, at least in the last year, it was a lot about health, human body, mental health, physical health, and a lot about physical health. And then, just in general topics around the society, usually about men, women, romantic relationships and all. And food science. I learned quite a bit through AI. I trusted it too much anyways, though I did realize that it makes mistakes at times. So I even told the AI, hey, you made a mistake because this is this, you said that before long back. And then it was like, oh yeah, sorry, you're correct. Anyways, so thankfully I don't trust AI anymore, or don't want to trust AI anymore too much, unless I check the sources and believe the sources. It's similar to fake news, just fake information. Anyways, so or not full context based information, very half-baked information where the AI doesn't know everything or doesn't know many things, but knows a good breadth, sometimes even depth, depending on how it was trained. Anyways, again, random shit or random talk, whatever. Let's get back to the topic that I was trying to talk about, which is about men, relationships, romantic relationships especially, and women and all this. So I've been thinking about this a lot before. So the thing is, yesterday also I noticed one interesting post. For example, this post was put on a group where people talk about mental health and all, and this is a group where they discuss different interesting things, like usually movies or series, basically content around mental health, because this group is run by a mental well-being clinic called Green Oak. and there someone posted one picture. I think it's from LinkedIn. Yeah. So it says, I believe it's from LinkedIn only. It says this. So the person who posted is Saurav Srivastava, and he says, I lost my cousin brother, Deeplav Srivastava, today. He was 37 and undergoing depression. It was not his time to go. So I believe he died by suicide. Yeah, that's the thing. You shouldn't say committed suicide, because committed is more of a term that is used for criminal things, committed crime and all that. But apparently psychologists and all use this term only, and it's like an official term. Anyways, I have read a bit to be able to say that I don't like the term. Yeah, so I would just say died by suicide. Or failed suicide, if in case they not attempted, more like tried to die by suicide but then failed. So yeah, failed suicide attempt or failed suicide, whatever. I think survived suicide, that's what they say. I think I forgot the exact term, but yeah, for died by suicide is died by suicide and not committed suicide. Anyways, so he didn't say that explicitly, but basically he said it was not his time to go and that he was undergoing depression and he was 37. So dear society, family members and everyone, male depression is very real. Please don't try to bend a man to your whim beyond his breaking point. We suffer enough alone. We suffer enough among ourselves. We suffer enough in silence. There will be nothing to gain but a loss. Cool. Let's dig into this a bit, right? So he's talking about a guy who was 37, his cousin brother, who was undergoing depression and who died by suicide. And I think if you go look at stats and all, which is just stats and numbers, where people just died and they became numbers, unfortunately, and they just became a stat or statistic. So I think a lot of men do die by suicide, and there are women also dying by suicide. And I've heard, I mean, I don't think every suicide is probably reported, but then I've heard that based on the reported suicides, where people have died by suicide, usually men have died by suicide more. Something to check out. But anyways, it doesn't matter if who dies more. As long as people are dying, it's actually a concern, right? But then, if you think about it, I sometimes wonder if it's actually a concern for some people if men die. Because the way I look at it is like a lot of people, even men and a lot of women, when looking at the binary alone, like men and women, lot of women are like totally against men, right? Like they are like, there was an era, of course, or there were many eras where women suffered, and even now they suffer a lot. If I say they don't suffer, that's all, I'll be killed. And it's true that they do suffer a lot. I think humans in general suffer a lot, but generally I think based on who you look at and the society, people generally believe that women have suffered a lot through various generations. And when I made videos before also, people have mentioned this. And since I don't know history, but I can understand, and not understand, more like I can believe it. Do I understand it because I have to go through that myself to be able to understand it better? But I'm able to empathize a bit and be a bit compassionate because people have gone through really bad things. For example, in India, there have been really, really bad things, and over the world, I think there have been bad things against women, where it was a very patriarchal society, and it is still a lot patriarchal society, right? Interestingly, in India, apparently there's a place where it's matriarchal, where the women have the upper hand. So someone has to have an upper hand, or someone is going to have an upper hand, I guess. So because equality, I don't know. There's always going to be some inequality and imbalance. Anyways, matriarchy is happening in, I think, Meghalaya. I believe that's the place. Basically somewhere in the northeast. I forgot exactly which place. This I got to know through my partner because her friend's partner is actually from Meghalaya or something. And yeah, Sikkim, Meghalaya, Assam, I forgot which place. I think it's Meghalaya or Mizoram, one of these, something. So Yeah, patriarchal society, and I get it that a lot of things were in the favor of men. Women suffered a lot, and they still do. So I can't say suffered; they still suffer, so, right? Yes, they suffer, and they have suffered a lot before also. So a lot of women are like, fuck men, patriarchy, fuck patriarchy. I get it, and there are Instagram, what do you say, uh, pages, right? Instagram handles talking about fuck patriarchy and all that. People going all crazy, right? I get it. There's a lot of rage, and I get it because this is like generations of rage and trauma, probably, right? Where you've suffered, your mother has suffered, your grandmother has suffered, your grandmother's mother and grandmother, and everyone has suffered, and it's like generational, and it's just there. Probably the body remembers, the genes remember, right? So I think there are some things that is genetic also. For example, when I was having issues, my therapist, the first thing he asked was like, did your family have a history of such kind of issues? Because it can be genetic, right? So people have gone through a lot, yes. So a lot of women are like, fuck men. Women are suffering a lot. Women should have a better time. Agreed, of course. Now, I think, like, if we keep doing this at this pace, I won't be surprised if there are no men at some point in time in the future, right? Like, because a lot of women are like, fuck men, fuck men, fuck men, fuck men. Fucking, even if they die, they won't care, I guess. And so if men die, if all the men in the world die, I think it's still not a problem probably for these women and the other people. Like, say, there are other genders other than the cis male, right? Cis white male, if you are looking at US and all, but cis male, basically, like, if it's a gay person and they are more feminine, right? And they're not very masculine and don't have the characteristics of the usual masculine men, then yeah, they are probably fine. But even then, if let's say you kill all the male men, all the men, and I think women might be okay with it. That's what I am starting to believe. Like, as in, fuck men. Who cares about men? Let them die. I am starting to believe that because I'm like, it's okay. I mean, then the next question will be, this person said, right? We suffer alone. We suffer enough alone. Fucking no one cares. We suffer enough among ourselves. No one fucking cares. The society, they'll be fine. They'll be like, yeah. I mean, every day someone is dying. They'll just say, okay, I die. So we suffer enough in silence. Yeah, suffer. Women have suffered for eras, generations. This time you suffer. So it's okay. They'll be like, it's fine. There will be nothing to gain but a loss, is what he says. But it's a very subjective and lot of perspective over here, because someone might say, no, it's fine. When patriarchal guy probably made a lot of people suffer, let him die. It's whatever. And or he'll probably make someone suffer in the future, let him die, right? I mean, you look at criminal stats and all. I think male and female both, they do crimes, but then given the population of the male gender and also, I don't know, upbringing or whatever, there are a lot of men who do the crimes, right? So they'll be like, if many men die or all the men die, there'll only be women who commit crimes. So you have your crime rate also decreased. So let fucking men, let them die. Let men die. Let them suffer and die. Let them die by suicide. Let them get killed, massacre, do anything. Okay? So, I mean, I won't be surprised if a country or state has it's not democratic and has a ruling of a king, let's say this time queen. The queen can say, kill all the men, even if there was a time when women were killed in the womb, so feticide, I think it's called. Basically, they knew it's a girl and they killed the girl, right? They kill the fetus, and or after if it's after the child is born, they kill it. There was a time when this happened. Actually, it's a very very crazy thing, and still people actually talk about how it's a good thing. I mean, or it's a great and proud thing to actually have a girl child, because they don't want people to kill a girl child. They don't want, like, there was a time, and there is still a time, it's still going on. There was a time, and even now a lot of people who look at a girl child as a burden, right? So they look at it as like a girl child, you have to protect the girl child, because generally they're like, girl children are like considered to be vulnerable, because though children in general are considered to be vulnerable, because there are a lot of bad entities. There is all these cases of sexual abuse, sexual harassment, rape and whatnot, in starting from even something like a bad, like even a simple place and supposed to be protected place like a school or college or educational institutions or workplaces. So now so people will like, have to protect the child, and also you have to get the child married to someone assuming heterosexuality and all that. So they always assume there's only heterosexuals. A lot of people, such people who are killing girl children, according to them, girl children are not worth it, and according to them, girl children will not get the are not heirs and will not get the ancestral money, and they are not as valuable as the male child, the boy child, right? That's their mindset, and that's their thinking, right? So they will kill now, and they're still doing, I guess. Like I just don't know how many reports are being done, how many reports are reported, how much reports are there for like such girl children killing as of now. But there was a time when there was a lot, and people know this, especially in villages in India and all, right? So, and that's why in India actually it's not even legal to actually find out the gender of a child before it's born. Like only after it's born you'll know the gender. You're not supposed to, you do any ultrasound or anything, any scans, you will not be shown any scan or anything where the gender of the child is visible or can be derived or can be understood that hey, this like can be determined, right? You cannot determine the gender at all, because it's illegal to, and they will ensure that if you're doing it, it's basically illegally you're doing it. According to law, it's illegal. So usually in ultrasound and scans and whatnot, they'll ensure that you can't determine the gender of the child, so that you don't kill the child. Now, if there is let's say there is a state or country and the ruling is done by a queen, I won't be surprised if the queen says, or everyone in the village says, let's kill all the men. They are only causing a lot of problems. Let's kill all the men. The queen can say, if there is a boy child, I will kill it. Now, the next question would be, wait, now, humanity, the problem is, as of science today, I don't know, but generally, if you want natural ways of reproduction, there has to be a male and female, right? I believe all these religions and whatnot are probably against homosexuality and anything else other than heterosexuality, because are probably against it, because probably a long time back maybe someone thought, wait, only heterosexuality can lead to children being born, which means humanity will exist. There will be more and more humans, and it can keep going on. Homosexuality and other sexualities and sexual orientations and whatnot will not create humans biologically and like in a natural process. So then let's not support it, or else humanity will die. Probably that's what they thought. I don't know. So how are these people don't support it? But it's fine anyways. So I was trying to say that now, if the queen says, let's say there's a queen, and the queen says, let's kill all the men, let's kill all the boy children, the boy child, anyone that's there, and anyone that's going to be born, kill it. Now what's the problem biologically? You need a male and a female to be able to reproduce. So now if there's no reproduction, there are no humans, the existing humans will age and die, right? So how does it happen? I'm guessing if they do this, probably let's say in the future, it's a matriarchal society, right? They do this feticide when it comes to men, let's say boy children. Probably the humanity will evolve, the human species will evolve in such a way that maybe they can reproduce even without a male, or they'll just ensure that there are ways to reproduce even if there is no male, right? The like scientific innovations and inventions and whatnot somehow ensure that just a female is enough to be able to reproduce. So that's the only problem with killing all the men, right? Like assuming you just try to reproduce naturally, which doesn't happen a lot these days, I guess, because people are having trouble, having a child. So they go for treatments and fertility centers and whatnot, hospitals. So now you kill all the men. You want to have children, you say you need to have children for some reason because you're crazy. You're like you can't think of a life without children, and you want to have only girl children, by the way, not men. So you will probably the humanity will evolve and they'll like maybe the species itself will evolve in such a way that I think like think about it. There was a time where we looked different, right? Our teeth looked different, our nails and whatnot. The body adapted to the nature accordingly, and we had features in our body which could help us be alive and which is useful for us. The moment it is not useful for us, slowly that changed. Similar to that, now men are not there. So now probably I think science and nature might find a way to be able to reproduce. There are still a lot of animals in the world and species in the world that can reproduce without the other species, right? Like without any other partner and all. They can just reproduce on their own. Similar to that, maybe humans will also evolve and suddenly they'll be able to reproduce without a man being involved. Maybe just another partner or just no one else. They can just reproduce on their own and have a girl child only, not a boy child at all, right? So, and if they have a boy child, they can just kill it. I know. Huh? So finally, you'll be like, okay, future is female will become true, right? Like a lot of these people I've noticed, people talk about future is female. I've seen T-shirts where it says future is female, which I've spoken about before. Yeah, sure, kill all the men. It's fine. So according to these people, patriarchy, fuck patriarchy. So fuck the whole idea of men having an upper hand. Fuck men only, like, kill them. There's nothing to gain is what this guy says when he says he lost his cousin brother and, please don't be like this. Like, society, please be kind. But then women might just say, it's okay. A lot of women hate men to the extent that they're fine. Like, they're like, men are bad. I get it. And there are a lot of bad men in the world, yes. If there are good men, there are going to be bad men. It's like, it's just there. Like, even there are bad women also. Funnily, people talk about equality, and I find it funny when people actually say things like there are things that I consider as bad. For example, if you smoke or drink alcohol, I consider it doesn't make sense. It doesn't help you live. Doesn't help you be alive for a long time. Instead, it kills you slowly. So I would say it's a bad thing because I consider living longer as a good thing, and trying to kill yourself as a suicidal thing. And if you're so slowly killing yourself, that's also, I would say, suicidal. And though my therapist says that's too very extreme to think about, I'm an extremist in some ways. So the thing is, if someone says if men can drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes, women can also do it. That's slightly stupid in my view. I get it. Of course, you can. I'm not saying equality, of course. So, if women start seeing men, jumping off a cliff, and will women say, hey, if he has the right to jump off a cliff, I also have the right to jump off the cliff? I'm guessing they will say. No, I'm sure they'll say, because it's like whatever stupidity a man can do, woman can do. Yes, makes sense. But I would say, why do you want to copy stupidity? Why? But that's how the world goes on. Now, like, why are women judged when women drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes? I'm like, I am the kind of person who will judge anyone who smokes cigarette or drinks alcohol. And I am someone who has started to see women as the, you know, uh, like a gender that is sane and all that. And when I see women who smoke, then I'm like, shit, I thought you people are sane than men. Men are stupid, okay. At least that's the kind of ideology that has come up these days. Men are stupid. 2017, back in 2017, when I used to say, like, tell my friends, I feel like women mature faster, or that's what I've heard, than men, and that's why older men, let's say, the difference between, in a heterosexual relationship, the difference of age between a man and a woman is like, it's there, little bit is there, like some 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. And it's not like usually equal. Like, at least in India, a lot of times you'll see that the woman is a bit younger, like 2, 3 years or 4 years, or worse, like 5, 10 years, 8 years, whatever, or 15, 20 years also. And I used to think probably because women mature better, and I think it's probably because of all the suffering that they've gone through. And then I see this, I'm like, shit, you want to be stupid? You want to copy stupidity? Sure, go ahead, die. I mean, I would literally say that, go ahead, copy stupidity and die, because you're like saying, if men do something, I should also be able to do it, and then you go ahead and copy stupidity. I have no words to say, really. I mean, I would say just die. That's all I can say, I guess, because when I see women smoking, drinking alcohol, I'm like, you look great and whatnot. Now you want to smoke and drink alcohol and kill yourself slowly, look worse, especially in a timeline, in an era where women want to look great, they want to have great skin, they use all these skincare products, and then they go ahead and drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes. Apparently smoking cigarettes is not great for your skin health. What the fuck are you folks doing? I don't know. So anyways, so yeah, copying stupidity. I mean, I remember recently in one LinkedIn post, someone was surprised that women are committing crimes that are very heinous. Right? Now someone will come and say, why are you looking at it as women and whatnot? Why can't women commit crime? Will someone come and say that? I mean, I think they might, because the thing is, again, someone is committing crime and doing illegal things and ending up in jail, and they get caught, which is also a stupid thing. If they don't get caught, that is a different thing, but they get caught and they do this thing, and according to society, it's a stupid thing, it's an illegal thing. Women are also allowed to do it, of course. They will also be caught, it will still be illegal, they will be put in jail. But then people look at it as like, yeah, men, women, and then they are like, oh my god, how can women commit such crimes? Because even in their eyes, they didn't think that women can do such things or will do such things. For example, this was a heinous crime, like I think some woman put some YouTube video on how to rape a child or something. I don't know, right? I have no idea why that woman did it, but anyways, she did it. I hope it's not for the likes and comments. Anyways, she did it. Or probably she was high on some drug, narcotic drug or whatever, I don't know. Some stupid thing. And this woman who posted on LinkedIn about this, saying that women are doing heinous crimes, killing, and then putting such YouTube videos or whatever it is. And she was caught apparently later. So this woman was actually a doctor, and she was like, oh my god, I can't imagine women doing this. And someone will probably come up and say, I don't know, I don't remember the comments, I didn't read the comments, I guess. Someone will come and say, why are you looking at it as women and men? It's a crime, someone committed a crime, right? And someone will come and say, why can't women commit a crime? Yeah, equality. You do stupid things, I will copy you and I'll say equality. So now this is mostly about, the whole heterosexual men and women thing. People forget that there are a lot of people who don't identify as just a man or a woman. They identify as something in between. There's this big spectrum of genders, sexualities, sexual identities, and whatnot, right? So there are different terms these days. And if you tell these terms, people suddenly say you are now Western, you are woke, or you are talking some Western culture stupid shit. Come back to India. Like I am in India and I'm an Indian. My nationality is an Indian. They'll say this is nothing in India. There are no such terms. And the thing is this: other than men, women, there are other genders, yes, and I believe it. The thing is, it's about respect. Like, okay, according to you, maybe there is no other gender, there is only man, woman, and there's only two sexualities, nothing in between. This is just some woke thing, some Western culture, Westernization, and whatnot, some new terms that they brought, and it's just some stupid shit. Indians need to be more Indian, and kind of like for them as an identity, as an Indian, there's no such thing, and so they don't want to actually look at different genders and different, what do you say, different sexualities, different sexual identities and whatnot, right? Whatever terms are out there, like LGBTQIA plus and whatnot. They're like, no, this is Western thing. This is not an Indian thing. Just come back to India, be in India. Don't get corrupted by the terms and ideologies of Western people. The thing is this: whatever it is, terms, ideologies, or whatever it is, these people want to be, like, for example, there are people who want to be referred as they, or them, or there are some more terms, I think ZHE, and then all that, right? So ZE, Zir, something. So these are in written and also even while telling, right? Some people, they can be born as a male, biological male when they're born, but they want to be referred as she and not as he. So they want to be referred as she, her, and not as he, him, right? So, but people are like, no, this is stupid. This is like, a lot of people in India, or people probably in other places also, I don't know, they'll be like, this is stupid, this is woke culture, this is Westernization, this is not an Indian thing at all. What is this stupidity? The thing is this: it's like a name, right? I want to be called as, say, KP or Karpaya. If you tell my name in a weird way or don't tell it properly, I mean, I wouldn't take much offense, but I know a lot of people who will take offense if their name is not pronounced properly, right? Or they'll just say, they'll try to correct it or improve the pronunciation of the other person. Now they want to be referred to as something, they expect something, they have expectations. Similar to that, these people have some expectations. They want to be respected and seen as someone that they want to be seen as. But other people are like, no, I will only see you like this. I will only call you he, him. I will refer to you as he, him, and not she, her, even though you want it. I will not respect you. So that's literally just disrespect. And clearly invalidating their thought process and their ideologies and their interests and their identity, right? Invalidating their identity. They're like, I identify as a woman. I am biologically born as a male, but I identify as a woman, so call me she, her. Don't refer to me as he, him. But no. Stupid. Anyways. So yeah, I mean, in a world where people are fighting with men and women, there are people in between here who are, say, homosexuals, and having different kinds of issues or different sexual identities and are part of the different sexual spectrum. There are people who are asexual and all. These people are also suffering in between, by the way, but not a lot of people talk about it. Mostly it's a talk about men and women. Women going ahead and saying fuck men. Men just running behind women. Or, assuming heterosexuality is there. There are men running behind women, or men saying fuck women, right? So it's like a one-on-one fight between men and women, while there are actually other people who are just trying to understand their fight with the whole world, or most of the world, where they are trying to say we also exist. It's not just men and women, and it's more than that and whatnot. Anyways, so that, I mean, these are some random things I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to also say, right, like, I wanted to talk about relationships, right, romantic relationships, looking at men and women, like the heterosexual relationships. I think I've spoken about this a bit before. So this, whatever I have, these are like, I mean, of course, I didn't mention this before. These are like just one moment. So these are like just opinions, ideas, and free advice, right? So, and suggestions or whatever. So it's only mine alone. I will clearly understand and I will accept if you think it doesn't make sense, or if you are sure it doesn't make sense. If, I mean, there's no something makes sense or not. It's a very subjective thing. So if you're sure that it doesn't make sense to anyone, sure, thanks. I didn't put this, or I'm not making this video to just get someone's appreciation or someone's support. I just wanted to talk about it, let it out, kind of like a rant, you could say, or clearly a rant, actually, venting it out, and also posting it on YouTube, though I don't have to do that. Anyways, so let's talk about relationships, and especially romantic relationships. So this is based on whatever experience, basic, very little experience that I've had in all these years, say sibling relationships, parent and child relationships, like with my parents, with my sister, and then also my romantic relationships with my ex-partners and my partner and whatnot. Hopefully my current partner doesn't see this, because if she sees, there'll be some problems, but anyways. So yeah, I mean, let's look at relationships in general. And I have been alive for around 29 years or so, like 29 years and 29.5 years. My experience, there are so many people in this world. I have not spoken to everyone in the world or been in a relationship, say like romantic or any other kind of relationship, say friend or whatever, or colleague or whatever, with all these people. There have been so many people in the history, so many eras. So my experience is like minuscule, very, very minuscule, right? So probably 0.0 point and then put zero, many zeros, probably infinite number of zeros, and then put a 1 and then say percent, right? Or you could just say 0%, almost as good as 0% experience. But this is what is my experience and my view, right? I will totally agree if someone else's worldview and everything is different, which is understandable based on their upbringing, based on their environment, and based on their thought process and what they've read and what they've learned and whatnot, their education and whatnot. All of that actually sculpts you as a human. All of that builds you as a human, right? So in relationships, like my therapist taught me this thing. This was in 2021, 2022, something. My therapist taught me that any relationship is transactional. I was totally, I mean, I think I've never thought about it that way. And if someone had told me that, I would have been like, no, it's not. I mean, relationships, especially romantic relationships, or my therapist was like, even a mother-child relationship is transactional, which is considered very holy, a mother-child. Like usually mothers will say, I will do anything for my child, or even a dad would say that, I will die for my child, I will do anything for my child, I will sacrifice my life. The funny thing is, these days I think women might not say that. Women might be like, it's my life, and the woman might just tell the child, fuck you, who are you to tell me what to do? You can't control my life. It's my life, I have to decide what to do with my life because of you. And they'll probably even not probably, many people surely do this thing where they'll say they'll blame the child for their life. Like the mother or the dad will be like, because of you are my child, and because of you I couldn't live my life like this, because I had to do all this for you. And I've literally seen some people talk like this also. Like I've heard from the children that their parents talk about this, and the children are also very sad, and they feel very bad that their mother or their parents, like the dad, sacrificed their life for the children, and they feel very very bad and very very indebted. Like they're like, I owe her now. She sacrificed her life for me, so I owe her now. I get the ideology. The thing is this, my therapist was like telling me, this was 2-3 years back, when he was telling me how every relationship is a transactional relationship. And he was like, in every relationship you give something and you get something. And I kind of was like, I liked the idea, because I mean, at a time and era where people say you make it work no matter what, especially a lot of women do this. I've heard women say, you just make it work no matter what, you don't leave. Thing is, according to them, I guess these people are thinking about life as like a single thing. Like, you find a person, you find your soulmate, and that's it. That's it. The one, that's all. And in romantic relationships, right? So you find the one, and that's it. You just stick to them. You find your soulmate, the one, or whatever, you stick to them. You don't, you make it work no matter what. My therapist gave me a different worldview where he said, you don't simply make it work. There has to be a why. You don't simply make it work. You just don't say, you want this and you want to make it work and you make it work. No. He told me that you try to understand what is the price you're paying for this relationship. What are you giving in this relationship? And what are you getting from this relationship? If the price you pay for, like the things you do for the relationship is too much than what you get, and it's costing you a lot to be in this relationship than what you benefit, like what you get. If you're paying a high price, it's costing you a lot for being in this relationship and you're not getting back that much, then he was like, it doesn't make sense. He said something of that sort. Like, basically he was talking about the transactional behavior or the property or an attribute of a relationship. And this he said for both, holistic relationships like a mother and child, and for romantic relationships also. And I kind of totally agree, because I like that, it works for me. Humans are sometimes not sometimes, I am very selfish, right? And I'm fine with people being selfish. The thing is this, I will look at some things that work for me and I'm happy with. Everyone holds on to a worldview and holds on to opinions and things, ideas that make sense to them or that they like, no matter how much backlash they get, how much hate they get. So I am trying to hold on to an idea where relationships are kind of transactional, though I don't think about it enough like that, which is an unfortunate thing. But sometimes you can, when you think about it like this, everything becomes very tricky and crystal clear in some ways after some point. Now you try to understand what you do for the relationship. If it's a mother and child, the child, what does the child give for the mother? The mother gets actually the feeling of, giving love. The ability to give love and a child accepting that love is still actually a great thing. The mother feels great. It's a selfish thing, you could say, that the mother feels great and that's why she she likes the child and she loves it and she feels great by giving love, right? And she wants to feel great. She wants to feel very holistic. She wants to feel that the relationship between a mother and a child is a very holistic thing, and that she has given birth to a child and she's giving all the love. Thing is, this is similar to how rich people donate to poor people, and then people talk about how what's in it for the rich people. The thing is, the rich people feel good. They feel the goodness, like they feel like, okay, I donated so much money, I feel like a bigger person, I feel like a great person, someone who is philanthropic, someone who is actually greater than themselves, someone who is actually, probably they'll consider themselves better than so many other people who are rich but are not donating, right? So or there could be multiple other reasons why they are donating, like they were poor and at some point, and that's why they want to have less poor people in the world or whatever, right? So there is always something going on, the transaction, right? So in a mother-child relationship, there is this, and then the child is like, what does the child get? The child gets love, and the child gives love, right? So in a romantic relationship, with my almost zero or like zero experience, I've noticed the women in my life, some of the women that I've been with, or I've been friends with, or I've been in a romantic relationship with, and all that. A lot of them have this idea of like, a lot of love, of course. They have a lot of love in them, and they want to shower it all, right? So they want to find someone they can shower love at. And they also want a lot of love, right? They want to see their love being reciprocated. I think there's a term called unrequited love, something. Basically, one-sided, like, someone being in a romantic, someone loving someone in a one-sided way, but the other person is not loving them back, right? In India, it's a popular thing. It's called one-side love or one-side thing, whatever, right? So basically, women, and there are men also who have, some of these men who have this kind of thing where they have a lot of love to give, and they also want their love to be reciprocated. The interesting thing is, finding love or finding a romantic partner is not an easy thing, right? There are so many people in this world. My ex actually posts pictures with quotes which talk about how love is a chance, which is actually a very interesting idea, and I can relate to it, because she had put a picture which spoke about how there are so many millions of people, billions of people in the world. You won't meet everyone, so whoever you meet, if you like them and if they also like you, you get into a romantic relationship with them, right? And this is true for even other relationships like friends, colleagues, or whatever, right? So you happen to meet them by chance. So it's very, so that picture spoke about how it's very possible that you will like a lot of people in this world, which is very true. Only some people will say, no, I won't like all the people in the world, because I have only the one, and I have one soulmate, that's all. I will like them only, and I will match with them, I'll find them. The thing is, that doesn't make sense to me. I think I'll also like a lot of people, right? And then, of course, there's this new Western idea that some people don't like, or some people love, or whatever, about this whole polyamorous, where there are multiple people in a romantic relationship and not just two people, which is the popular idea, right? So where one person is in a romantic relationship with multiple people, right? Open relationships, polyamorous and whatnot. Very tricky thing, because in my view, it's hard to sustain a monogamous romantic relationship. I have no idea how it's going to be difficult to spend time and energy and effort in a polyamorous romantic relationship unless the people involved in it are very mature, and I don't know if I'll be okay with it also, if it happens, but only experience will tell, I guess. But anyways, so I have only been in monogamous romantic relationships. So when you think about it, just a moment, I lost my train of thought. I need some water also. Just a moment. Yeah, back. So when you think about it, the whole idea of like love is a chance, your romantic relationship is a chance, kind of makes sense. A lot of things happen, chances a lot of choices and decisions, and then you end up with someone for a long time. Like I remember this one thing, this one speech by Simon Sinek. He's a popular self-help book and self-help speaker, motivational speaker and all, who people sometimes even mock at. I think people mock me for actually checking out these motivational speakers or self-help books or whatever, right? So, anyways, so he talks about interestingly how you don't suddenly decide to get married to someone. Every day you make a choice to love someone, and one day you're like, okay, I want her to be my wife. Like, you know, like at least if you look at it logically, because there are some people who will just look at someone and the first sight itself they'll be like, okay, this is my wife or this is my partner, romantic partner. Like, if you look at logic and sense and this whole transactional relationship idea and all that, probably you will spend time with them, try to understand them, live with them, and then be like, okay, today I choose to love you. Oh yeah, that's also a popular idea. Love is a choice, and even I believe that. So, what is love? Love is a choice, according to me. You make a choice, right? It might or it will look like a very logical thing. Of course, you can love someone and then not be with them in a romantic relationship, because sometimes just things don't work out, right? And there are a lot of such stories in the world, right? But you still love them. It's a choice, and you just love them, but you can't be in a romantic relationship with them, right? You love them as a romantic partner, maybe from far, but yeah. And now let's look at the whole idea of like choice. Love is a choice, and the whole transactional relationship. Every relationship is transactional. The thing is, a lot of people will not be okay with this idea of like love is a choice. So they'll be like, are you saying you will suddenly make a choice to not love me or not be with me and all that? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think, I mean, of course, this Simon Sinek's sentence about the thing about you choose to love someone every day, and then I think he mentions it's choice. Anyways, you choose to love someone every day, you love someone every day. Suddenly you decide that, okay, one day, like after some point, of course, it's not like randomly one day you get up and you say, this is my wife. No, you love someone every day, and then at some point you're like, this is my wife. I'm gonna get married to her, or I'm gonna get married to this person. So in a transactional relationship, if you think about it, with that idea, it is a choice. You look at the transactions, you look at how easy it is. Some people say nothing in life is easy, which makes sense. There is that viewpoint. Some people say everything in life is easy. If it's hard, you're not making it easier. Different viewpoint. For example, if I don't go and work out in the gym, life is easy. I don't have to strain myself. But then if I don't move at all and don't work out or don't exercise, don't go to the gym, or like don't exercise or don't move at all, life will become harder at some point. So it's like a different hard, right? Different kinds of hard. You don't exercise at all, that is one hard. You exercise too much, that is hard, but it has its own benefits, right? So both different kinds of hard and easy have its own benefits and problems. So in this case, like the whole idea of like is your relationship, romantic relationship, easy? Or people talk about maintenance, right? Low maintenance. This is low maintenance. I'm low maintenance. I'm high maintenance. So thing is, what they're talking about is it's like they have a lot of expectations. They have a lot of quirks, or they have a lot of things they are particular about, right? Or they are probably very fancy, or like they spend a lot of money, right? So I mean, the whole idea about just I lost my thought. Yeah. That's why I'm very random, and that's why it's a problem. Anyways, um, just a moment. So quirks, high maintenance, and there's a lot to put in. And done. Oh, I think I'm lost here. And so I was talking about the whole idea of love is a choice, transactional relationship, and the whole high maintenance and quirks and people being very particular. Uh, cool. So the thing is, some people will be like, it's not easy. Yeah. Oh yeah, easy, hard. It's not easy to be with me. I'm like high maintenance. So now you think about it like this: in a transactional relationship, is it easy for you, or are you having a hard time? Right. So if you're just having a hard time always, for example, uh, I mean, if you think about it like this, a woman gets beaten up by her romantic partner every day. It's a hard life. She would probably say, "I love him. He loves me. It's okay even if he hits me. It's not that hard. I don't mind it, or I don't care if it's illegal or not. I won't report him to the cops, to the police. um, Life is not hard." Someone might be like, shit, your life is so hard, why the fuck are you being okay with him? Why the fuck are you just obliged to stay with him? Why the fuck are you just staying with him? Why can't you just, why are you what do you say, accepting whatever he does, or why are you just taking whatever he does as it is, and like not fighting against it? Why are you caving in? Why are you giving in, right? Or why are you just getting beaten up? Why can't you just leave this relationship, this romantic relationship, right? And this can be true physically beating or emotionally abusing, physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, and all of this. And someone might say, your life is so hard, leave this. Life doesn't have to be so hard. The person who's getting beaten up, or someone else also might say, life is hard, but he loves you. You also love him. Uh, how hard is it? Right? Someone might say, see, the person who says it's very hard, just leave. They're looking at how easy it is. And I've seen some TED Talks about this also. Just they'll talk about, don't go upstream, go downstream, make life easy, do whatever is easy, and things will work out. Right? Or some people talk about how things will be hard, do hard things, and then life will be easier later. I mean, at some point, at every point, something is going to be hard. Anyways, so now if you look at it as in a relationship, you're getting beaten up, that is hard. Or let's say you have to spend a lot. Like these days, some woman might say, I'm high maintenance, I spend a lot of money, and they won't earn probably. If they earn, great. If they don't earn, or even if they earn, the other person, the partner, might not earn, but they also have to spend a lot. They might be like, okay, I have to spend a lot. This is hard. Like, as in, they have to earn a lot, or they have to work hard, and that's hard. And they have to pay a lot of price. Literally, they have to pay a price here to be in this relationship where they have to spend money, right? The whole idea of like the hard, easy. Now you look at it as this: how much do you have to pay, and how much the price and the cost you have to pay for this relationship, be it romantic relationship or anything, and what is it like? Basically, what is it costing you? Your emotions, your money, your effort, your energy, right? Your mental space and whatnot. And what do you get? Love or whatever it is, right? So I would say a lot of women are probably very smart, or not surely very smart, where they do get what they want. They ensure they get what they want, or they leave the man. But if the man tries to ensure what he wants, like this is in a romantic relationship, what I feel like, if the man doesn't get what tries to ensure what he wants is there, or doesn't get what he wants, if he leaves the woman, then the man is actually put in a bad light. I don't care, however, what the society says or what the people say, but interestingly, he is put in a bad light, where and the woman can also be put in a bad light. For example, I once heard one woman talk about how she is not earning much, and she met a doctor, she liked him and all, but then unfortunately he doesn't earn much as of now, and it'll take a lot of years for him to earn. He's still a doctor and he's still learning or whatever. So she had to say no to him, even though she liked him and he also liked her. So if you look at it, you can look at it as in two ways. One, maybe it's okay, try to make it work. This is the whole idea of like, no matter what, you love each other, try to make it work. Or you be hopeful and say that maybe he'll earn soon, so be okay with it. But probably she wants to be with someone who has enough money and doesn't have money problems like her, right? So she said no, and you might be like, shit, he loved you, you loved him, but then you said no? Oh my god. Or it makes sense, unfortunately, you want to spend money, or you want to be in a well-off place, or you want to have enough money, and even if you like him and he likes you, it's okay if you say no, it's okay, it happens. If the man does this, ideally it should be similar response, but then sometimes it happens that they say no, you are rude, you could have made it work and whatnot. There's this whole thing about also men and women, when it comes to romantic relationships, men and women, about earning. There's a lot of pay gap for women and men, and there's also profession. Every profession pays you different amount of money, and everyone has their own ideology of how much they want to earn and how they want to work, and about their career and their values. Like, I won't charge my customer too much, right? Or I won't do this. This is unethical according to me, and whatnot. I am philanthropic or whatever. But then they'll also have this idea of like, I want to spend a lot of money. You don't earn money. You want to spend a lot of money. How does that work? It works because either the parents or the romantic partner has money, right? Now, it's like a given. I think I've heard a lot of these gold digger cases people get angry about. And it makes sense. Maybe some people are actually gold diggers, where they're just trying to find a partner who has a lot of money. This can be a woman finding a man, or man finding a woman who has a lot of money, say ancestral money, or they earned a lot. The thing is, and in some cases people are like, see, I'm not actually falling in love or marrying you for the money. But the interesting thing is, the money is there though. Will they have still agreed to be with them if they didn't have the money, is a big question. How can you validate that? You can't. You will never know it, because the person has the money and the person decides to spend money for their partner. You'll never know. Probably one way to experiment is the person decides to not spend too much money for their partner, and says no. Right? Says no. And for whatever choices both make together, they can pay together. Whatever choices one person is more inclined to and the other person is not. Let's say the man is not inclined to spending too much in a fancy restaurant. The woman is inclined to spend and go. And it's the woman's decision, let's say. The man obliges because he wants to ensure that the woman is happy. Now the man has to spend that money, and he has the money, so he's spending. What if he decides to say, what if he decides to not pay, or says, I don't have the money, and actually doesn't have the money, let's say? Then they'll start being in debt, right? So I know people who are like all this high maintenance. I will spend money on skincare products. I will spend money on fancy restaurants. I will spend money on, fancy things. I'll buy fancy things. I'll spend money on going to salon, spa, everything. right? I'll just do this. Everyone has their own decisions, of course. Now the question is, are you independently, eligible and able to make those decisions and fulfill those decisions, right? Fulfill your expectations and desires. If you're not, do they, the woman or the other person, basically the partner, does the partner even understand that the other partner is actually spending a lot of money? And I know a lot of people earn money very easily, and they can be like, you earn so much money, there's a lot of pay gap, with men and women, and depending on the profession, you get paid lucratively. For example, in today's world in India and throughout the world, software engineers get paid a lot, right? So, or a lot of different professions get paid a lot, but there are a lot of lucrative jobs. So people like, you just earn money, it's easy for you, you're just not working that hard and all, easily getting the money. Why you just pay, like now it's a very interesting problem of love and then money both clashing now. Like now you'll be like, holistically you'll say, let the love win. Why is money a problem? Don't bring money into your romantic relationship, right? And this is true even for normal, like just other relationship, not normal, everything is normal, not some abnormal romantic relationships, sibling relationships. A lot of people bring money and the relationship takes a toll, right? So, for example, I've heard, whole ancestral money, heritage issues and family court cases and family fights where they fight because of money, because ancestral money or heritage money, heritage properties and whatnot, right? So, it's a very tricky thing, bringing money into a relationship concept, and think about how it plays a role in a romantic relationship too, and in any relationship, right? Say your sibling or your parents ask for money and you have the money, but you say you can't give and they know you have the money. How does it go? Do they understand that it's your choice? Or do they say, I'm your parent, I'm your sibling, you're not giving me money, I told I'll give you back. Now you're put in a very weird situation, right? So, very, very tricky stuff, right? Like people trying to do things. Money is a very problematic thing in today's world. Just because someone doesn't have money, they cannot do a lot of things. For example, they cannot access good health care, they cannot access the things that they want to access because they don't have the money. But if some genie comes in and says, I have money and you can ask me money or you can spend my money, basically your, say, your romantic partner or your child or your sibling or whatever, right? And you're like, now you're like, you have the right to ask them money. And some people believe this concept. I get it. You are my partner, you're my sibling, you're my child, you're my parent, whatever. How can you say no to me asking for money? Give me the money and don't expect it back, right? Very tricky stuff, but people have to decide how they want to deal with it, depending on how important that relationship is for them, and depending on how the other person, how mature the other person is in terms of money, the relationship, and everything. In general, you'll have to understand how to deal with it. If the other person is very immature, you might have to just deal with it in a very different way where you wouldn't be happy. Say you might have to give the money and be like, it's okay, they won't understand, they'll be angry or whatever, or you might have to say, let's end this relationship because you won't understand. Funny thing is, people will fight though after the relationship ends. But yeah, like my dad has had a lot of family issues when it comes to money and all. And because of the decisions he made to lend money to his siblings and all, or his parents, my mom and my dad used to fight a lot because of that. My mom used to be like, why did you lend the money? They're not giving it back and they're not also being grateful. So now when they lend money, people start being, what do you say, being like, hey, I expect you to be grateful because I gave you money. Now that expectation also, someone can say, You are my sibling, you are my child, you are my parent. You are supposed to give me money. You're not supposed to expect anything from me back, gratefulness or whatever. I will be selfish or whatever. I get it. Double standard, it's okay. Or not double standard, it's fine. You have the right to ask money and not give it back, and also have the right to not be grateful or not be thankful or whatever. And someone might say, yeah, I mean, I won't be thankful. It's my money, it's my sibling, it's my child, it's my dad, my parent, my partner. I will get the money, right? Even this problem happens even in divorces, right? Like these days, people, I've heard men, getting divorced, and then how they have problems with respect to money, the whole alimony. I mean, the idea of alimony was brought in probably long back because women didn't earn much and they needed some security. But the thing is, when divorce is happening, usually the both parties are in a, you know, on like two sides, probably, most probably, or probably. And the man is like, I don't have too much money, how can I give that money? And she doesn't deserve it, she didn't even be a good wife or whatever. The wife will be like, I'll get all the money. He's divorcing me. It will be hard for me to even find another person to get married to, and I'm going to ensure that I'm going to end his life, or I'm going to end whatever savings he has, or ensure that I get it all because I deserve it. The man is like, I earned all this money, I deserve this money. And this is a popular problem, alimony, and this is a popular thing that happens around the world where the woman gets money from the man when they do a divorce. And I think this has happened in many, many popular cases. Like I think John Depp or Johnny Depp and his wife, there was a problem. I think Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, I think these two people had a divorce and they had a problem. There was this whole idea of like the alimony and all that. So especially these rich people and people who are not rich also, I've seen people who struggle and say how they say the divorce is taking a toll on them, because once they get married, they are bound by the law to actually do many things. For example, one is alimony, right? So lot of men are also bound, like everyone is bound by law, and a lot of men struggle when the law is actually taking one side or the other and not being fair, and everyone's concept of fair is different. For example, there are a lot of laws that enable women to be able to accuse a man, say for example rape. They can file a false complaint, like basically false accusation. They can file a complaint, and they can just falsely accuse someone that they raped me, this man raped me. A woman can go and say, and without any evidence, the man can actually be arrested and can be put in jail for many years. And there are documentaries around this, right? And then this whole alimony thing, this is one law that a lot of people actually take advantage of, right? And some people just force some man to marry them. Some women like force the man to marry them, and then later they try to get a divorce and they are like, now you have to give me alimony. The marriage itself was a forced marriage, and then now you have to work with the whole alimony thing. And then the whole idea of like divorce, and then who gets the custody of the child, the dad or the mom. And the whole idea of like, even if the child says the child wants to be with the dad, I think mom can say, usually apparently the law favors the mom, probably historically and statistically they feel the mom can take care of the child better and whatnot. But the dad is like, the mom is a cruel lady and she's a very bad person, I want to take care of my child, I don't want my child to be raised by some bad woman. But no, all of that, money problems, alimony, all of these kind of problems, there are a lot of documentaries around this. I'll probably see if I can actually put the links to these, where men do struggle with divorces, marriage laws, alimony laws, laws around sexual harassment, rape and all that. A lot of men have been falsely accused, a lot of men have died I mean, I understand I'm actually advocating for men, but I also won't be surprised if men lose and die, because I don't think the world cares. So if, like, uh, I'm advocating for men, oh yeah, and I'll advocate for women also. But then the thing is, both people need advocacy, and everyone needs some support. Unfortunately, men, I don't know how much support they get, because men don't support men themselves. Sometimes, interestingly, women also don't support women themselves. They'll support someone else. This is like it should be fine, I think. For example, I know people who just don't, for example, cure people, cure queer, I don't know what to say, but basically, people from the LGBTQIA community, they might not support someone else who is in the LGBTQIA community. Just because they are there in that community, they won't support them. They'll have some personal differences and whatnot. So just because two people belong to the same gender, same community, same some sort of identity, doesn't mean they'll actually support each other, right? So just because a woman, a lot of women are like, you're a woman, how the hell do you not support women? It's not so binary usually, actually, right? So sometimes they might be supporting women, sometimes they might be supporting men. Whatever they want to support, whoever they want to support, whichever side they want to support. But that's the thing. I know, for example, when I have been in romantic relationships in the past, um, in the past relationships, I didn't even support myself. I was always supporting my partner. The interesting thing about relationships, including romantic relationships, is when the people involved in the relationship, for example, it's a monogamous romantic relationship, there are two sides, right? If there are two sides, the man, woman, let's say heterosexual, man, woman, if the man and the woman are on different sides, right, the relationship always loses. The man will try to win, the woman will try to win, or one of them will at least try to win, and they'll be like putting themselves on the side opposite to the other person, and the relationship will lose, and maybe both of them will win or one of them will win, but surely the relationship will lose. But if the people in the relationship, let's say in a heterosexual romantic relationship, the man and the woman are on one side and the problem is on the other side, then either the problem wins or the problem loses, but the relationship will not lose. The thing is, lot of times, a lot of people don't understand what is it they want and what is it that they're willing to actually leave out, and how much they are willing to actually give away and leave it out, and what is the price they are willing to pay. A lot of times people don't realize that they're probably fighting for something that is not really worth it, right? And they're probably not realizing it, right? And sometimes you might even realize that you're fighting for something, you're not fighting for something that is worth it, right? Like, for example, you think that it's important for you to stick to your decision, but you're not fighting for it. You're just being okay with your decision being overruled, right? Your decision not being taken, and you don't realize that it's actually an important thing, but you're not fighting for it. It's an important thing according to you, and you're not realizing it, and you're not fighting for it. You're just giving it away. You're just leaving it. And there's also the other way where there is something which is not important. You're not thinking or you're not realizing that it's not important, and you're just wasting time fighting for it, and then later realizing that it's not an important thing, probably when it's probably even too late. So, for example, these things happen in romantic relationships where small things, microaggressions happen, and small things happen, and people create a fuss out of it. For example, in my previous relationships, for example, one case was where I made a mistake, I will agree, where I said, so my partner was like, she was planning to move and move to a place, and she was expecting me to also move with her, and I wasn't planning on moving, funnily, and suddenly I explicitly told her that I'm reconsidering the relationship, because it was only 1 month, but yeah, I did love bomb her, which is also a mistake I made. I've made that mistake a lot of times, love bombing people. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, so what happened was, like, I was like, I'm reconsidering the relationship, the romantic relationship, and she lost it. She started crying. And I told over text by mistake. I shouldn't have told this over text. I should have told in person. And we were texting, and then I told her later that, see, I'm reconsidering this relationship because I don't plan on moving with you or anywhere, and I don't want to have a long distance relationship. I've had it before, and I don't want it, and all that. Right? I wasn't willing on having a like long distance relationship, and maybe I could have moved, but I had my reasons on why I didn't want to move, because the place that she mentioned was actually having a very bad air quality, and I still don't support going to a place where the air quality is too bad, like popularly too bad, though the air quality is getting bad everywhere else too. Anyways, so then she was like, she lost it. I also got mad, and then I took a decision while I was mad that I'll not be with her. But the good thing was, the bad thing was, I made a decision when I was emotional and when I was angry and all. The good thing was, I had a confirmation bias also, and that was also a bad thing. Where I was like, she smokes, and I didn't want to tell her to stop smoking for me or anything, right? And but the interesting thing is, if I don't tell her to stop smoking, do I not care enough about her, right? Because I don't smoke and I don't want to smoke, and I don't want to passively smoke also. She knows that, and she has been a smoker for a lot of time, I think. But interestingly, she said, like, she was smoking. She said that a bit later, like, say second day or third, fourth day where we were dating, and I was like, okay, it's okay. I don't think I would have been okay in general if it was a dating app. This person actually asked me out in person, and then we started dating, and I was like, it's okay, I can give her a chance, maybe. It's fine even if she smokes. I didn't realize that I wasn't that much okay with it. So later I was like, yeah, however she smokes, the current person she is, I can't be with her. So I told her that, and I left her. And she got really mad. She wanted to know reasons, and I didn't want to tell her that, you smoke, that's why I didn't want to be with you. And also, I was just mad and whatnot, stupid decision that I took. Anyways, then I told her, see, the current you is not someone I would like to be with. So it's not compatible. So let's just break it up. I did talk to her just to be friends and all, but nope, she didn't want to be, and I also thought, yeah, it made sense. She was also like, why would you be friends with, like, I had also told her that I wouldn't even be friends with someone like her, and she was like, you told me that you wouldn't even be friends with someone like me, then why are you trying to be friends now? So it made sense, which is, I didn't want to actually be with people who don't have the same ideologies as me, right? Even in my previous relationships, for example, I didn't like spending too much money, and my ex-partner basically used to be like, I want to spend money, I want to have nice things and all. But the funny thing is, she didn't earn that much money at that time, and now she earns, I believe, but at that time she didn't, and I used to spend a lot of money to be able to meet her and also go to different fancy places and whatnot. I don't think she appreciated it much. I don't know. That's what it seemed like. Maybe she did. I don't know. And funnily, later I was still friends with her for a long time, my ex-partner, after breaking up with her, which many might say is a bad thing. In a way, it's bad, especially with someone like her, because she has a very problematic behavior. Anyways, she has multiple problematic behaviors. For example, she was telling me how they're looking for prospects for her, and funnily, she was telling me how she wants the guy to be earning a lot, as much as her at least. So, what if the guy earns a lot? Why does the guy have to actually accept the girl who doesn't earn much? The woman will say, well, there's a pay gap, and the profession you're working in pays a lot. How can you expect it to be the same? Correct? But at least they should understand that there's a pay gap and the guy is accepting. While women can actually say that, no, this guy doesn't earn as much as me. He doesn't even look great. He doesn't earn as much as me. He doesn't look great. He has lost hair on his head. He looks fat. He doesn't look great. So basically, women can have expectations, right? Men cannot. In a heterosexual romantic relationship, at least that's what it felt like to me. Or basically, people can have expectations, right? But people have double standards also. They can have expectations, but the other person, the people on the other side cannot have expectations. right? So I mean, very controversial stuff. For example, let's talk about dowry, right? So this, my ex-partner used to be like, and almost everyone that I spoke to, they were talking about how they hate dowry. Get it? Makes sense. And it's also illegal. And because in the past, in the previous generations, a lot of people have died because of dowry, because the the groom's side tortured the bride and tortured the bride's family to give money, and if they didn't, they were torturing more until they gave up and died by suicide and all, right? So the interesting thing is, I'm just wondering how probably dowry started. I think there was a time where women were not working and were not expected to work. At some point, it became more like you should not work, more like you must not work, leave expected to work. You must not work, you should be in the house. I think it became like that at some point. And the man marries the woman, the man is earning, the man is supposed to be the bread earner. So I'm guessing what happened was, maybe now for one person there will be some amount of spending. When there are more people, there will be some more amount of spending. And if only one person is earning, it's going to be a burden for the guy, right? If the guy is the bread earner and the woman is not supposed to work, or must not work, or is not expected to work and all that, right? So, and then if they have children, it's going to be a bit more burden unless the man earns more and more. So probably I'm guessing the parents probably, helped the couple who are getting married by giving some money, right? I think at some point it became an expected thing, and it's like a must thing, where the groom's family started asking too much when they didn't have that much, and they didn't. It's like basically you have nothing, and then you ask the bride and bride's family to give you everything that you want, you desire, right? And you will also treat the bride in a very bad manner, right? And so all of that, right? Basically, the bride and the bride's family are giving away too much, say money and everything, respect and everything, while they get almost nothing. Let's say respect or money or the kindness or whatever, right? I think at this point it became very bad, and also the whole torture in case at some point I think the groom's family were also asking money again and again, like even after the wedding and all, and they were just wasting all the money or eating up all the money. Basically, that's how they say in India. Basically, spending all the money and asking for more and more money. So basically, it was a problem for the bride's family and bride, and they got tortured, right? So which is what made it illegal, I guess, at some point. So now, if you look at it, now the woman and the bride family, the bride and the bride's family surely give some dowry these days in India, because it's like a status thing. If they don't, it's a problem, status problem for them. And the bride is like, I don't want you to give money, I don't want my parents to give money. And more like, it's not like I am buying the husband as a product, or it's not like I am not worth it, I'm not worth anything. Why are you giving them money if I'm not worth anything? Like, it's I am getting married, and it should be just that. You shouldn't pay any money. Okay, great. Okay, don't pay money. But does the bride also understand that maybe she's not earning that much, and she will most probably choose some guy, some groom who earns more than her, and she's probably not at all earning, or she's earning but not as much as the guy, and she wants to spend a lot of money more than what she has and what her husband has and whatnot, or the money she doesn't have but the money the husband has. So now it's like the other side, where the woman is expecting that all her desires, like this is not for all women, but some cases where the woman wants all her desires and expectations to be met, right? And it's like she'll just keep spending up all the money that's not hers, and it's like, hey, we are a partner, we are a couple now, we are married now. It's not like your money, my money. So let's just spend the money. Let's not look at it as your money or my money. We both earn. You earn a bit much, so can you just put more money? Can you just spend more money? And because I don't